You are watching Influence Media, PSI TV, the Netflix of biz brands.
My guest today is Robert Wilson, aka Cowboy Wisdom. He's an inspirational speaker, hypnoacuitist, dream sculptor, and published author. Now, let me just say that word again. Hypnoacuitist. Did I get that word right, Rob?
Yes.
Oh boy. Well, Rob, thank you so much for being my guest today.
Well, it's my honor and privilege to be here. And thank you very much for having me as a guest.
Oh, fantastic. I love to just share my guests with my audience. So, Rob, you know that word I stumbled over. Hypnoacuity. What does hypnoacuity mean? I have to tell you, I tried looking it up on Google and everything came right back to you. So, did you make up this word? What is it?
Yes, I did. And see, what hypnoacuity is, it takes away the therapy. Because when people have addiction to therapy or whatever, if I have a challenge, I'm just going to go get therapy. Well, everybody just keeps going and going and going on therapy. Well, hypnoacuity is actually, acuity is keenness of vision, listening, and inspiration to move you forward. And it and it quiets that thinking, memory, mind. And that's the way I expanded through life. And acuity is just that. It's that simple. It quiets thinking, memory, nitpicking mind and allows you to expand through life with a new way and a new wave of wisdom to expand. And that's a key word I'll say to everybody. Take the word change out of your life and use the word expand, because expand has no memory. Change has memory and pain, but expand is grand. And something else I'll share with you, I just got this. Comprehend your life and understand your life, and then you don't get caught up in yesterday.
I like that. Expand has, I'm writing it down. I didn't know I was going to take notes today, Rob, but I have to, that's a writer down right there. Expand has no memory?
The memories, there's no representations in your inner self that can be expand hits no frozen in time representation in the unconscious and subconscious. And that's when you can quiet that down, you can actually imprint and move forward in life. Because as soon as you start saying, I got to change, I do this, I do that, all the memories are activated. And then it comes back, oh my God. But with expand, you kind of can just flow. There's still going to be challenges, but you're not attached to the challenge. That's the thing. Detach the challenge.
I can see that, because if you're changing, you have to change from something into something else. Whereas if you're expanding, you're just becoming more. Wow.
I'll show you the difference. Here's these two cards. That's change. This is expand. There's more. And it's just that simple. You just add it, and it takes out all the limitations of your thinking, memory, mind.
Almost like diluting something.
It's not only, yeah, it's diluting the angst and opening up the wisdom.
I love it. I love it. So, Rob, you offer hypnotherapy, but
Yes.
You describe that hypnotherapy service as doing it with visionary vitality and empowered energies. So I guess you'll not have your clients clucking like a chicken, but this type of hypnotherapy sounds like it has very specific outcomes or purpose. Tell me about this type of hypnotherapy you do.
What I've expanded into, you expand out of the past right here. Because it's a memory of the now. Everything's happening now. Even the future's happening now. But there's remnants of that event going on, and you expand out of there. And if you can open up to listening to the clarity of your now, you can expand, because you hearken the simplicity of the wisdom, the insight to expand out of it. But we try to heal the past. Well, when you try to heal the past, you're thinking backwards. But if you listen for the clarity of now, you naturally open the wisdom of now. And that's the key. That's the expansion is there. And I never use transformation. I use expansion, because that disconnects the thinking memory mind. This is all about disconnecting the thinking memory mind, but also getting I call it the liminal lingo. It's but just having a vocabulary above your everyday use words, so it excites you about where you're going, and only speak and write and talk about your desired lifestyle, your dreams, and that way you dissipate the past today.
Wow. So I don't want to go off tangent here, but that reminds me of in the space that I am, I get a lot of people who want to revisit the past. It's almost like they feel compelled to voice it. And I have low tolerance for that. I'm like, it's in the past. We need to move forward. You know, and if you really need that level of therapy, I'm not that person. But I love what you're I love this expansion concept. I really, really love that. Maybe after this show, you and I can talk some more about that concept. So, Rob, another one of your services is you say you help clients engage with your sagacious self.
Sagacious. It's common sense is what it really is.
Okay.
Sagacious.
To understand the grand.
Now it's called now-quility. It's present moment peace. And the thing is if you can get now words in front of you, you're here, and you can expand out of anything right here. But if you go back or anywhere else, that memory is involved until you deal with the emotions, the body. And that's the thing. Everybody wants to deal with the brain and the mind, whilst the body's as much as to do with expansion as anything, because the emotions are the thoughts of the body.
Interesting that you say that. That whole mind body connection, I think, is a big disconnect for many disciplines. And when you think that the medical facilities will tell you that your brain, your mind can create stress, stress can trigger cortisol, and and stress can actually show up in your body. It's interesting that you are directly making that mind body connection, which I think is missing from so many disciplines. That's amazing.
Here's something sometime when somebody wants to do it, say spirit, body, mind, and then say out loud spirit, body, inspiration, and see what you feel. And when you take the word mind out of your life, it takes away the memories and you don't go into the representations, because mind means memory or looking for something. And inspiration comes from in here.
I think inspiration for me comes from out there, but
well, you know, it comes from everywhere, but it comes through the inside you, and it's unattached to the daily life.
It is.
And what you said is very true. But it's an intergalactic thing. But inspiration over thinking just takes away all the other stuff in life.
Now, if someone went to your website, mycowboywisdom.com, they're going to see that you're the author of several books. But the one that really caught my eye, Rob, was How Did I Teach Myself Fear? I saw that title and I went, got to ask you about that. Teach ourselves fear. What do you mean by that?
We taught ourselves everything. See, we are actually the teacher of our life. Everybody else is just a guide. But we teach ourselves everything. And when you say, I taught myself fear, or I teach myself fear, or I teach myself everything, it takes the blame and shame out of the lifestyle and allows you to be accountable and responsible for whatever enters. Then when you're accountable and responsible, you can go to the root or the core or whatever, and you can discharge it, release it, and dissolve it. But when you do that, you take the accountability and responsibility for the situation, and allows you to have not control, but you have the power and the empowered prowess to release it, dissolve it, and get the wisdom from it. That's a key word to life, is where's the wisdom? Because knowledge is books. Wisdom is the experience. And that's where when we come west, we had the experience of all the trails. Now we go from the college, we graduate college, we go right straight into management, and we think they got there because of the books. They miss the hands-on to get there. And that's where we lack the wisdom in the world today.
I like that you said the accepting of responsibility, and that others are guides, but we're really the ones that are allowing things in. Very, very interesting. I am enjoying this interview, Rob, I have to tell you. So when people visit mycowboywisdom.com, I noticed there that you have a thing where they can sign up to receive a free $10 million meditation. Now, lots of people meditate. What is it about your meditation that makes it a $10 million meditation?
Because when you divide all the money up in the world, when I made that, everybody would have had $10 million. So there's actually 10 million. There's an abundance of money in your name out there. You just got to do it. And I had fun with it because I made it, you get to go to the bank, cash it, put it in the bank, spend it, have fun with it. But there's something after I read that question really awakened me. When I made that meditation, I was all wrapped up. I doing it for money, 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 you know. And the last 3 years, what I understand is if you want cash, you got to be a service to the world and you got to expand. For me, it's like if I want $10 million, I want to expand 10 million people's lives. And it's the key is not tell people what to do, but show people a way to discover their own unique talents. And everybody has unique talents that is above the school system and everything they've been taught in life.
No, that I absolutely agree with. I absolutely agree with. Right now, as we speak, my son quit his job, which he was a manager, to take 1 year off to explore exactly that. And I'm giving him the freedom to do that, supporting him through that, because it's there and he needs to find it. And not a lot of people have that opportunity, but it is there and we all need to find it. We do have that thing inside of us for sure. So is that something you help people to do?
That is my major thing with hypnoacuity is allow people to uncover their sovereign self and sovereign love. It isn't self, it's really sovereign self-worth. And the thing you really have to stop being is a servant to your past. And two other things I've really discovered. You got to stop being a servant to being told what to do and stop being a servant to telling people what to do, but to listen for the clarity of your own innovative wit that's being presented to you from the outside world. The outside world is a tour guide. We're on tour and there's guides out there, and all a guide is if you listen, the wisdom appears. But that's something we're trying to know our way through life. And we think and know our way all the way to yesterday. Imagine, as soon as you lay your head down on a pillow, imagination and dreams begin. When we wake up in the morning and all wound up about life, that's when the thinking, knowing, memory, and hearing comes back. But it's about letting the imagination, because we will never know our imagination, inspiration, innovation, or our talents unless we discover them.
Sometimes it takes that silence, that stillness, that quiet, hushing out that world for you to hear it.
And also, chaos and challenges are your dreamer's sunrise, because all they're showing you is something where you lack the wisdom to move forward. That's in my new book called Life Occurs For Me.
Say that again. That's a writer downer for me, Rob. Chaos is what?
Chaos and challenges are a dreamer's sunrise, because they're really featuring your old ways, and they're really, the dark is turning to daylight right there. And it delights you. But see, we've been taught that chaos and challenge happened to us because we did something and we weren't smart enough. Well, but the spirit and everything, the unknown sources of the universe, they're putting that there because you're at a dead end here and you got to get rid of the moldy old deleted stuff. You got to open up to the wisdom, insight, and clarity, but you got to open up to your trend-setting, trailblazing talents to ballet away from that.
See, I've always seen chaos and interruption and disruption, all that, as a pause point for me to reevaluate and maybe even pivot. I don't see those things as problems. I don't.
No, they're actually they're enterprising enlightenment.
Okay, I like that. Enterprise.
Yeah, and see, that's the thing. And in my book, My Life Occurs For Me. Yesterday happened, today occurs. Opening conscious clarity, unleashing rebellious, stupendous savvy to expand through life.
Now, can you give us like a case study, just to kind of help the audience with what it's like to work with you and possible outcomes of working with you?
Well, you're going to leave the past in yesterday and you're going to open up to the now. And see, that's something I really expanded into, like we do rewire, rework, redo this. Well, work and rewire and all that. I was an electrician. I got into some real bad rewiring stuff, but it's now wire, now connect, now begin, now I won. See, you get the vocabulary of the now, you start letting go. But what they're really going to open up to is they get to use my shortcuts that I've had to go through, and they're going to get to understand and discover their talents, but they're also going to get to uncover and realize something, how unique their mystique is to expand them through life. And it's really not self-discovering, it's a sovereign self-worth that comes from it. It's really discovering their self-worth through their self-discovery. Because they need to discover that. See, most people are wanting to tell you or think they know what's good for you. I have no clue what's good for anybody, but I can show them how I expanded my life, and they can take a variation of that and discover themselves. And that's what this is all about. And it's also about letting go of thinking somebody did something to you, the outside world did anything, because when you can appreciate it, that you did it to yourself through your thinking, memory, mind, opinions, and viewpoints, and everything you taught yourself, you liberate me from me. And that's a key word right there. I liberate me from me, because it's my thinking, knowing, memory, mind, and everything I blame on the outside world as my culprits, but it's really me.
But there are some true times that we are victims of something that we cannot help. I mean, if there's a tsunami that comes and wipes through the town and removes your home and floods everywhere.
That's an outside, but that's a mother nature thing, and she's just cleaning out something. See, that's what a typhoon and a hurricane is Mother Nature's tired of the BS, so she's just going to clean it out. See, when it comes to Mother Nature, that's all her. And if you mess with Mother Nature, she's going to bring it back. But I wrote a keynote called Mother Nature Nerve, and that's what you have to have. You got to be the typhoon of turmoil and also be the typhoon of triumph at the same time.
So, Rob, is there anything else that you would like to share? Maybe I didn't ask it.
Yeah, one thing. My books and my writings are unpunctuated on purpose. They allow the reader to go on their own voyage and their own journey and discover and uncover themselves, and realize that punctuation to me is kind of mind control, because you're always wanting to read something and then go back to what the author wants you to know. With my books, you got to open up and discover yourself, and you actually get to learn to trust your own abilities.
So I want to just piggyback on that with this very famous punctuation sentence, which is, man without woman is nothing. And if it's punctuated, man, comma, without woman is nothing, means something completely different than man without woman, common, is nothing. So you're saying that your unpunctuated books, like you're all, aliveisme was all shoved together. So my brain had to even say it, I had to slow down and almost phonetically pick it up. And then I realized it was alive is me. Is that what you're saying is kind of what's going on with your unpunctuated books?
Yeah. See, what that did is it broke your train of thought. And I'll share one more thing with you, because I know we're about out of time. It's called flip-a-majig. When you're having something unsavory going on in the daytime, just call it a flip-a-mig and flip-a-majig and say, flip-a-majig, be gone. And see, and you did the right, see, you laugh. And that laughter breaks that chain of thought, but it's flip-a-majig, be gone now. And if you got somebody in your life that's being a little bit crappy, just say, whatchamacallum, be gone now.
Well, that's interesting. That's fantastic. I totally enjoyed this interview, Rob. I totally enjoyed it. Guys, listen. Rob Wilson, aka Cowboy Wisdom. He has authored many books. And as you can tell, I've enjoyed this interview. And you can hear how he thinks and how he shares. So can you imagine what it's going to be like to not only read his books and go on your own little journey, but also to work with him? So to connect with Rob, you want to go to mycowboywisdom.com. It will be in the credits in case you want to make sure you're spelling it right. mycowboywisdom.com. Robert Wilson, aka Rob to me, thank you so much for being my guest today.
It was my honor and privilege to be here. And I had fun. That's the key to life, is having fun. And that's what wisdom energizes fun. But I had fun with you. Thank you.
I had fun too. Thank you so much.